McLeod with the Investing News Network, and here today with me at VRIC is Thom Calandra of the Calandra Report. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Charlotte. Good to be here.
I'm excited.
Yeah, a lot of people here.
Yeah, very packed. So you're here today chairing not one but two uranium panels. So I wanted to start off by talking about uranium. Can you tell me your thoughts on Kazakhstan's decision to cut uranium production this year?
Yeah, well, that happened about a week ago. Kazakhstan is definitely the world's largest producer and one of its cheapest producers. But the price has fallen so low that it needs to somehow tell the market, hey, we have to cut production. Almost like OPEC. Now OPEC says or hints that it's going to do something, and that could take the price higher or lower. Well, that's what Kazakhstan did. It said we're going to cut production by 10% in a number of ways because the spot price is too low for most companies, and certainly most exploration companies, to make money. They're mostly underwater. If they're underwater and they're cheap, everybody's underwater.
Okay, so, and we saw a bit of a share price appreciation for some companies after that. Is that will that last? Will there be?
Yeah, so now let's look at the uranium equities. Okay, you look at uranium, it's a little bit of an obscure market. People look at the spot price, they look at contract prices for yellowcake concentrate, right, which is the concentrate that the nuclear power utilities buy. And, you know, probably in the past 6 to 8 weeks, we've had a nice rise, not a huge rise, but a nice rise in the very depressed price of spot uranium. Uranium is like $18 a pound. So now it's $22, $23 a pound. And of course, the corresponding equities have done very well. Some of them have doubled. Some are up 40, 60%, you know, in the course of a week. We saw that, we saw a little interruption earlier in the week. Here we are in January, when Cameco, which is the largest North American uranium company, it's a producer, said, hey, we're going to have costs that far exceed expectations. Most people in the industry knew it, but you know, it's costing a lot of money to close down what they call Rabbit Lake. In Canada, it's costing a lot of money to lay people off. They're having currency fluctuation problems, and that ended the rally, but only for a day. The stock was down 18%. Other uranium equities, the explorers, the producers, were down. Next day, they came right back. You know, we've had quite a little rally, but it's really nothing when you look at a chart, right, of the last 5 years, and you see everything going lower and lower and lower. Then you have this little blip. If you were to look at just the blip, it would be like, whoa!
Right.
But if you look at it over a 5-year chart, it's hardly nothing. To me, and you know, I only started getting into uranium maybe 10 years ago. South Africa mostly, a couple of other areas. It looks real. It looks like the quote-unquote bottom is in.
Okay, so that's about a pretty good overview of the supply side, I think. But what about demand? I know you've written that China is shaping up to be a major buyer, but it sounds like that may be more of a slow burn. Are there any?
We did it. You know, one of the panels we put together of 3 companies. Canalaska Uranium was one of them. Dennis and Sky Harbor and I put together a slide deck, which we showed and which I have here as well. And we're giving out. It's 25 slides and explains everything from the supply-demand equation to the politics to the headlines. You know, and I was joking that even I'm not sure people got this joke, Charlotte, but I was joking that even a Kardashian headline could move the uranium market. That's how sensitive it is to tweets and headlines like the Kazakhstan news. I would say that China, by the year 2030, will be the largest consumer of what they call yellowcake, the concentrate that utilities need to heat up their reactors. Right now in the United States, 20% of its power comes from nuclear reactors. That's probably going to grow over the next 5 years. Of course, people have mentioned the Donald word. Okay, the Donald or not, we need cleaner energy. Yes, there are issues with the storage of uranium and what you do with the radioactive waste. But uranium right now on an industrial scale, regional scale, right? Reactors that can power tens of millions of homes, like they do in France, like they do or were doing for a while in Japan before Fukushima. The demand going forward will always be there. I don't think we're going to learn anytime in the next 10 years how to get energy from splitting atoms. You know, be great if we could. Be great if we had solar power and wind power on an industrial, regional, or national scale. Probably not possible. So I think the demand will always be there. Even Mexico, you know, needs uranium. I mean, one power plant in Mexico, Palo Verde, supplies 5% of the country's power. 5% just from one plant. So you can see the potential. It's great.